Hi, I'm NZ Beer Babe and welcome to another one of my reviews. I'm super excited to be here with you today because we're going to be talking about one of my top 3 or 4 favourite styles in beer, which is a Pilsner. This one I've got here today is from the Kaiser brothers Brewery, which is based down in Christchurch in the South Island of New Zealand. They are 3 brothers who bought a brewery from Germany and set it up here in New Zealand. So there's a connection there with them because one of the main people that developed the style of Pilsner all the way back in 1842 was in fact a German, or a Bavarian as they were more commonly referred to in those days. So in 1842 in Pilsner, which is now known as the Czech Republic, the country, Pilsner is the town that was in the Czech Republic, or formerly known as Bohemia. That's where it was created, and it was created using a lot of English technology and new brewing techniques that was developed at the time. And also around that same time there was a lot of advances in transportation, so the style of Pilsner quickly then spread around to the rest of Europe. So in terms of brewing history, it's a very important time in the brewing world when the Pilsner was created. The history is actually super interesting about Pilsner, so if you have the time, please go and have a read about it. You'll be absolutely fascinated. That's just a very brief pinch of salt that I could give you in the short amount of time I have with you. So this is it poured up in a glass. Now the Pilsner is sort of known or regarded as the first blonde lager, and the reason why is the hops that they used was the Saaz hops, Saaz I believe, and it's very pale in complexion, which was unusual because during those times the beers were a much darker malt was used to brew them. Okay, so the characteristics, of course, are first of all the colour, blonde, as it's referred to, pale, light golden colour. To me, this one looks a little bit slightly darker or yellowy than what a usual Pilsner or typical Pilsner looks like to me. Normally it's between 4.5 and 5% in alcohol, and this one is 5%, so it's bang on in that vicinity. Yes, so of course I've already had a taste of it. I think that they've done a very, very good job with it. As far as Pilsners are concerned, as a style of beer, I feel that it's often overlooked. I just think that because there's been somewhat, the purists would probably say, a bastardization of Pilsners. So famous beers that are Pilsners are Budweiser, which of course massive in the United States and everyone around the world, doesn't matter what country you're from, even if it's not available there, you still know Budweiser, American beer. It's a Pilsner. Stella Artois for New Zealanders would definitely would definitely recognise Heineken, even people from around the world, because they're very well known for sponsoring a lot of big sporting events. So those are very famous styles of Pilsners, and I think that a lot of the purists or artisan beer drinkers, they kind of just overlook it because it's very, it sits well with the masses. That's because the taste isn't offensive. The flavour profile of it is very subtle. And for me, complex and beautiful, and I love a great Pilsner. To me, definitely, like I said, one of my top 3 or 4 favourite beer styles, especially because I've got a lot of friends that do not drink beer. I've got a lot of friends that drink different types of alcohol, so a lot of my wine friends that completely adore wine and have a lot of knowledge about wine and have gone on wine tours to France and things, they're like, oh, no, I don't drink beer. Well, I'm like, have a Pilsner with me, and I recommend what I think is a really good Pilsner because it's not offensive, and one that one can certainly appreciate what it has to offer, which is, subtlety, let's face it. And there's no shame in that. A lot of people, which are beer snobs or whatever, might call it, boring and bland and use those kind of words, but I beg to kind of differ. So yes, that's my number one recommended beer is a Pilsner. If you've got a friend that's not a beer drinker, have a Pilsner with them and slowly get them into drinking beer as the gateway, because it's really, I think it's very underrated as a beer style. There are different types of Pilsner beers. There is the German Pilsner, there is a Czech Pilsner, and there's an American Pilsner. And the American Pilsner tends to be a mishmash of the different styles of Pilsners. So yeah, if you really want to get into it, you can actually try the different styles and compare them and see what you think. Each one of them has got different characteristics to them. As far as the Kaiser brothers, I think they've done a great job. If you've watched my videos, you know I always talk about the label, because I think that we not only eat with our eyes, but we drink with them too. So when we're going to the supermarket and we're choosing what are we going to have next, it's always the label is everything. And that's why I think companies like Panhad did so well, because their labels were would call out to you and welcome you, and you want to know what's inside that crazy, label, what's it got to offer. So I think when I read the back of this, I thought it was super cute. It was like, oh, give me a woman who loves beer and I will conquer the world. I thought that was cute and probably very true as well. So let me know what you think. Leave a comment in the box. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed, so that I know you want to see more videos from me and I stay motivated to give them and bring them and record them for you. I am working on a write-up on Pilsners for my blog, which is nzbeerbabe/wordpress.com. Please go have a look, and I will upload that sometime this week. So something a bit more detailed about my opinion about Pilsners and food matches and things like that. And I will talk to you very, very soon. Taste, discover and enjoy. Cheers.